What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest show in the world. The greatest show in the world. But yep, welcome back to AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 119. 119. It is January 29th, 2026, year of our Lord. It's a beautiful Thursday, y'all. Beautiful Thursday. It's getting closer and closer to the end of the week. Hopefully everybody had a good day today, but there's times, you know what we do when we come here? We got to review the world together. We got to jump into it because there's a lot of things that we need to look over, a lot of things that we need to think about. And this is the best way that we can move forward and find the best path to move in our lives. Because the only way to move forward easier is to see how crazy the world gets so we can get up out of it. At least that's my thinking, but hopefully everybody had a good day today. Like always, welcome back to the greatest afternoon show in the world. Remember, this is a show where we meet Monday through Friday, starting around 6 to 7, where we go over four different topics that are mind-blowing with some of the strangest things that we see and just things that we need to look at and review together. If you ever disagree with anything I said, leave me a comment. Let's talk about it. There's no need to be scared. We probably not scared, but there's no need to think about it. Just if you think I misunderstood something, tell me how you feel. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you how I feel about it. Now, y'all remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. Why? Because we talk about a lot of crazy things, and there's a lot of things that people don't see because my algorithm is tuned to it. My YouTube algorithm be popping. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. What Future say? Let's have a sensational show today. But the first topic we're going to be discussing today, we got to go back to Alex Pretti. Yes, now we've mentioned this before. Alex Pretti, who was killed, a nurse who was killed by ICE agents in Minneapolis. We finally have video of his prior altercation with ICE. So we're going to get over into that and watch a few videos of that, a breakdown, see what the family has to say, and then we'll go into and then we'll just talk about it and see what we think about this whole situation. But he does some wild stuff in the video. But let's get over into it and see what we can figure out and see what we can understand. And in general, just see what we think. Let's jump over into it. No, forgot to jump into it. Let's jump over into it. Let me pull this, make this bigger. Well, let's see what we're thinking.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed.
Let's back that up a tad bit and start it over.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January...
Now, okay. What do you expect to happen? You spit at them, you bust the lights. Do you expect them to just drive away? Are they not supposed to grab you and detain you? Is that what we're thinking? But let's keep going.
January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat, and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband.
Oh, yeah.
Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations, which concluded that Pretti was holding a phone, not a gun, when he was pinned to the street.
Yes, we saw that. Now let's go over into this next video just to get a little bit more detail. See.
And newly released video shows Alex Pretti getting into a scuffle with federal agents 11 days before he was killed. And if you look closely at this footage, you see Pretti kicking the taillight of an SUV full of federal agents. Those agents stop the car, they tackle Pretti to the ground. CBS News correspondent Lana Zak is following developments for us in Minneapolis.
Good morning. A law enforcement official confirms to CBS News that the agents involved in that fatal shooting of Alex Pretti are now on administrative leave. A new video shows that this was not the first confrontation that Pretti had with federal officials. Footage shot by the news movement and confirmed by the Pretti family shows the 37-year-old yelling and cursing at federal immigration agents on January 13th. At one point, he's seen kicking their car and breaking its right taillight. Officers then exit the vehicle and tackle him while deploying tear gas into the surrounding crowd. After a brief scuffle, Pretti is released. The officers return to their cars and drive away. An attorney for Pretti's family says he was assaulted despite posing no threat. 11 days later, Pretti was killed during another confrontation with federal agents. Tensions flared again on Tuesday night when Representative Ilhan Omar, a frequent critic and target of President Trump, was sprayed with what sources say was a syringe full of apple cider vinegar during a news conference where she called for the abolition of ICE.
Some landed on my binder, some landed on the podium, and then I think I felt something here, which is when I lunged towards him, and luckily I didn't catch an assault charge.
The weeks of division and violence.
It's been a crazy situation about ICE, the protests. You got people getting, some people getting violent on both sides, which is a wild situation. Let's go over into this next. We didn't really want to go too far into this video, but let's go into the next video where we hear about the family's reaction to this prior incident.
All right, we begin with developing news for you this morning. A short time ago, Maine Senator Susan Collins announced ICE is ending its, quote, enhanced activities in her state. She says Secretary Noem confirmed the move directly to her. Turning to Minnesota now, we have a new video showing Alex Pretti in a confrontation with federal agents. This is 11 days before he was killed by Border Patrol. And sources tell CBS News the agents who fired their weapons during the Saturday struggle with Pretti are now on administrative leave. This unrest in Minneapolis over the deadly shooting of Pretti has become a flashpoint for debate on Capitol Hill. And even Republicans are now criticizing Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem.
He got out in front and told the president, before he'd even taken the time to understand the incident that happened in Minneapolis, that a terrorist had been killed and was brandishing a weapon. It's like this. These are amateurs in the strictest sense of the word.
But we can't just say, oh, nothing to see here, and he was obviously an assassin and a domestic terrorist. When we say things like that, it leads to no confidence.
The GOP criticism is fueling Democrats as they threaten a shutdown if funding for DHS ignores ICE reform.
Senate Democrats are united.
Now, we're not going to stop it too much, but they definitely shouldn't have said, because they immediately made a statement saying that he walked up to them with a gun. I've seen a lot of videos of this incident. Now, if somebody else seen something, tell me, but everything I've seen has just shown a phone. He just had his gun in his back waistband like he did in the prior incident. He had a gun in his back waistband, which is completely legal for him to do. But let's keep going.
On a set of common sense and necessary policy goals that we need to rein in ICE and end the violence.
I hope we can get this thing back on track. We need to fund the government.
And this morning, the Senate is set to hold a test vote on the government funding package. Democrats have pledged to block it over the push to give more money to DHS. But the New York Times is now reporting a deal with President Trump may be in the works. We've got team coverage for you on all these topics this morning. Natalie Brand is standing by at the White House with the latest on the shutdown fight. But let's start with our Ian Lee in Minneapolis to show us what's happening there on the ground. Ian, good morning. We mentioned this new video of Alex Pretti. What exactly does it reveal, though, and how is his family responding?
Hey, Errol. So, yeah, this video came out and the family has confirmed that it is him in the video. And when you watch the video, you can see him what appears to be spitting at a ICE vehicle and then kicking at it a couple times. And the last time he smashes out the back taillight. ICE agents then get out of the vehicle. There is a scuffle and eventually he is released and he walks away. In that video, though, you can also see what appears to be a gun in his waistband as well. And this incident happened 11 days before that fatal shooting. And some people may look at it and say, you know, it doesn't cast him in the most favorable of light. Well, his family released a statement through their lawyer, and that it says, a week before Alex was gunned down in the street, despite posing no threat to anyone, he was violently assaulted by a group of ICE agents. Nothing that happened a full week before could possibly have justified Alex's killing at the hands of ICE on January 24th. So the family is saying that the two incidents.
Now, I don't think I never say that it justifies it, but it does show that he's used to confrontation with the federal agents, or that he's gone out his way to have confrontations with him. Now, nothing about, like I said before, I didn't see anything to where he looked like he was trying to assassinate ICE agents. But I wasn't right there in the whole situation. I don't know what they truly felt, but from the video that we saw, they took the gun away and he didn't have any more weapons on him. But if they come out with something else, then hey. But I don't think there was a need to shoot. But I like I said, I wasn't in that situation, and I don't know if he truly felt his life was at danger. But let's keep going and see what else they got to say.
Incidents are not related, but it does shed new light on just who Alex Pretti was and in his involvement in the anti-ICE protests in Minneapolis.
And then, of course, that video was followed by his shooting death this past Saturday. What are we learning about the agents involved in that?
Yeah, so two agents involved in the shooting. That shooting happened about 5 seconds after someone says he has a gun, and despite that gun being taken away from him. Well, right afterwards, Gregory Bovino said that the agents had been reassigned for their safety to different areas because he was afraid they'd be doxxed or their identities would be revealed. Well, we're finding out now that they were placed on administrative leave, and we don't know exactly the time they were placed on leave, but that goes along with the protocol that is typical with incidents where you have federal agents using their guns. Errol?
Yeah, it's typical of any kind of situation with the police or anything like that when a shooting occurs and there's a lot of scrutiny on it. Just look at any incident with a police shooting. They are immediately placed on leave. Then later on, once an investigation comes out and they are found guilty, that is when they are fired and criminal charges are pressed. But overall, it's a crazy situation. Do I think that he deserved to be killed? No. But was I in that situation? No. So I can't say 100% that he was not a threat. I don't know what he had in that situation. Just from the video I've seen, the gun was taken away and then they shot it, which is never how things are supposed to go. But this is the stuff we have to review. This is the stuff we need to look at so we can have a discussion on it. A civilized discussion. There's no need to get angry, but let's talk about it. Tell me if you think I said something wrong. Tell me if you think I'm missing something. Overall, it's a crazy situation. And at the end of the day, I will say this. Never get into any kind of law enforcement's way. If they tell you to do something, go ahead and apply. Go ahead and do what they say. Do not resist. And if you feel like your rights are being violated, call your lawyer when you get the chance at the end. After you're already arrested, call your lawyer. Don't fight, because that's just you don't know what can happen. And you're just going to end up putting your life in danger if it is a bad cop. But let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. We're going to pivot now into the next topic. It's something we've been waiting for. Sean Grayson has been sentenced for the murder of Sonia Massey. Yes, he has been sentenced. So we got a few videos to look at, and then we're going to look at how the family feels about the sentencing. But we've been waiting a long time for this after seeing that video. But let's go over into it and see what we can find out and what we learn from this whole situation. It's overall it's about time, but let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Now a judge just sentenced Sean Grayson to 20 years behind bars. The former Sangamon County Sheriff's deputy was convicted of killing Sonia Massey after she called 911 for help. Mayor Kawash is live in Springfield. You were in court, Mayor. Massey's children gave impact statements.
Yeah, very emotional morning here in court, in a packed courthouse with protesters outside, many family members here inside. But the Massey family erupted in tears and some joy as Judge Ryan Cadigan handed down a 20-year sentence to Sean Grayson. That's the maximum allowed under this second-degree murder conviction that he faced. We saw multiple rows of family members related to Sonia Massey, very emotional in court, and there was a handful of family members there for Deputy Sean Grayson. Now, Grayson made the decision in court to address the family and the courtroom himself, expressing a lot of emotion and remorse that we hadn't seen up until this point. He apologized for the entire incident, admitting that he made several mistakes on the night that he shot and killed Sonia Massey in her home in July of 2024, saying he wishes that he could bring her back, while also asking the family for forgiveness in the long run. Now, we heard 4 victim impact statements, 2 of those from Sonia's children and then both of her parents as well. Grayson looking straight at each family members as they addressed the court, at that time showing no emotion. Both of her children speaking about the permanent harm this has done to their family, their own mental health, and how they survive each day. At one point, Sonia's mother, Donna, ended her statement looking directly at Grayson, saying, quote, "Sean Grayson, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Those are the exact words Sonia allegedly said to Grayson before he shot her 3 times in her home on July 6th of 24. During the trial, Grayson had told investigators he thought her, quote, rebuke meant she intended to kill him. Now 572 days since that shooting, Grayson officially sentenced to 20 years in prison, followed by 2 years of supervised release. We just heard some initial reaction from the family and attorney.
So he said that he thought that rebuke you means that she wanted to kill him. I guess that's why he said, you better not. But let's keep going.
I am just overwhelmed with joy. We prayed that this would happen, that he would get the maximum sentence. But we look forward to him being prosecuted federally for violation of Sonia's civil rights. I don't care about who's running this country right now, but I'm gonna let you know that as her dad, I want him prosecuted federally too, so that when his sentence is up here in the state of Illinois, he can begin his federal sentence in the federal penitentiary.
Now, we have also seen protesters continue to gather outside the Sangamon County Courthouse both before and after the sentencing, chanting 20 years is simply not enough. The judge today also denying a motion from the defense requesting a new trial. The defense says they do plan to appeal this sentencing here in a few weeks. So Grayson now set for 20 years in prison. That'll be followed by 2 years of supervised release. We are expecting to hear more comments from the Massey family here shortly after this sentencing to learn more about their reaction. We did hear from Grayson's family. They said they have no comment at this time. Live from Sangamon.
Is 20 years enough? That is the question. Is 20 years enough? But let's go over into this next video and see if it gives us any more details.
Sean Grayson, the former Illinois deputy convicted of killing Sonya Massey in 2024, has been handed down the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder last October for the killing of the unarmed mother of 2. Body camera video from the night of the shooting captured the moment Grayson responded to a 911 call from Massey about a possible prowler outside her home. He claimed she was acting erratically and threatened him with a pot of boiling water before he fatally shot her. The footage showed Massey apologizing and ducking for cover before those shots rang out. CBS News reporter Karen Hua is outside the courthouse in Springfield with the latest. Karen, how did Sonya Massey's family react to the sentencing?
Hey, Lindsay. So the Massey family was overjoyed and relieved. You have to imagine they've been waiting about 2 years for this sentence, and they say this ultimately proves that no one is above the law. However, they say that there will never be full justice for Sonya Massey, but they do believe this maximum sentencing is the best case scenario. Take a listen at what Sonya's 16-year-old daughter and her father had to say.
I'm grateful that we got the maximum sentence that we could. 20 years is not enough, but they did what they could do.
I just want to say that we serve an awesome God, because never in the history of these United States has a law enforcement officer been given this kind of sentence, a maximum sentence of 20 years. We don't think that's enough, and the law needs to be changed here in Illinois so that there's a greater value placed on second-degree murder here in the state. But right now, I am just overwhelmed with joy.
Now, the Massey family wants Grayson prosecuted federally for a violation of civil rights crimes. Lindsay?
Grayson had a chance to speak in court before the sentence was read. What did he say?
Yeah, Grayson was mostly stoic throughout the hour in court today, but he did get quite emotional when the judge allowed him to speak toward the end. He ultimately apologized, saying that he was unprofessional the night of the incident. He made mistakes and said that what happened to Sonya Massey should have never happened. Ultimately, his lawyer did ask for a sentence of probation, which essentially means no prison time. His lawyer arguing that there's little to no chance Grayson would ever do this again, considering he's also battling stage 4 cancer right now. But the judge still decided on the maximum sentence of 20 years, saying he wants to set a precedent. He wants to deter others from acting the same way under these similar circumstances. Grayson's team...
Now, let me say something. The judge would have never agreed to probation. One, you can't, no. That's too light of a crime, too light of a punishment. And second, I can't imagine what would happen to that city if that happened. There's going to be riots. We know.
Did file a motion to reconsider this sentence, and that will happen on March 3rd. Ultimately, for Grayson, if he does serve this full 20 years in prison, he'll be 51 by the time he gets out. Lindsay?
51 years old. Let's go over into the AI breakdown, because we need to. So I had a question. Just basically, what are the possible federal charges he can get? Because the father mentioned that. So let's look at this. So as they know, the civil rights violation. So Sonya Massey's father and the legal team have publicly called for Grayson to be prosecuted federally for violating her civil rights. This typically involves charges 18 USC. I don't even know that symbol. Depriving of rights under color of law, which is common federal charges in the police brutality cases involving unjustified force. So the DOJ opened an assessment into the circumstances of the shooting. Federal investigators often wait for the state level proceedings to conclude before determining if separate federal charges are warranted. So we know that he was sentenced to 20 years for second-degree murder. And then, separately from the criminal proceedings, the county reached a $10 million wrongful death settlement with the Massey family in 2025. Now, I did want to know, what could he get for the civil rights violations? So if he was charged and convicted of the federal laws for civil rights violation, he could face significantly harsher penalties than the current ones he has. So the maximum sentence, imprisonment for any term of years up to life in prison or even the death penalty. While the statute allows any term, federal sentencing guidelines for civil rights violations involving a homicide often results in substantial prison time. He could be subjected to financial penalties as well. The Department of Justice had concluded an inquiry into the case, and the federal authorities often use the civil rights charges to pursue a life sentence. Now, here's the question. I'm going to say it again. Is 20 years enough time? Now, if someone did die, should he have automatically gotten life in prison? Now, it was the maximum for the charge. So he was charged with second-degree murder. Should he have been, some people think he should have been charged with first-degree murder. That's where premeditation is involved. I don't think it was premeditated. I think in the moment he did something stupid, horrible, and downright inhuman, but he was charged with 20 years, which is a lot of time. But is that enough time for the crimes he did? And do you think he should be charged federally and it runs after he gets out of prison at 51? I think they said 51. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But 20 years for killing of Sonya Massey. It's been a long time waiting, but we are finally there. But like I said, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. We're going to pivot over into the next topic today, and it's more craziness. More things that just make you need to make sure you watch out. So we got a stripper who beheads her boyfriend. And how old was the boyfriend? I think he said 55. He was an older man out here messing with a stripper. But let's get over into it. We got a video to look at, and then we'll go into the AI breakdown. Because there's not much news about this. So we have to, we got to dive into it. So let's get into it and see what we can find out about this whole crazy situation.
An Anaheim woman accused of killing and decapitating her boyfriend has been arrested in Mexico and returned to the U.S. to face murder charges.
KTLA 5's Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost live now in Santa Ana with the latest details. Chip.
Hello there. This is a case with some disturbing details. A 23-year-old Anaheim woman has been arrested, accused of beheading her boyfriend and then fleeing the country. However, she was caught last week. Let's show you a picture of the woman we're talking about, the suspect in this case. She's been identified as Elisa Lira, 23 years old, of Anaheim. We're told she was working as a stripper when she met a man, a 55-year-old man, Enrique Gonzalez Carbajal. They got into a dating relationship. They dated for a couple of months, but in August, some people got worried. Apparently, they hadn't seen him for a while. They went to check on him, found that he had been killed. Police now believe that the killer was his girlfriend, who we showed you there, Elisa Lira, but she had left for Mexico. Again, this happened.
Now, let me say something. Think about this. Why would a stripper, a 23-year-old stripper, be dating a 55-year-old man with kids probably the same age as her? I mean, we got some ideas. I mean, a stripper, older man, probably had a little bit of money he liked to spend on her. Sounds like a sugar baby relationship to me. I wonder what can drive her to kill off her sugar daddy, and not just kill him off, but behead him. Absolutely crazy. Let's keep going.
In August, this was at a home at an apartment on La Palma in Anaheim. So Anaheim police started working with the Orange County District Attorney's Office and other agencies, including the FBI, to locate the suspect. They found her recently in Mexico. They believe she fled there right after the killing. She was brought back last week and now will face charges of allegedly killing her boyfriend and beheading him in the process, cutting off his head during the murder. We'll have more on this. We just spoke to a spokesperson here at the Orange County District Attorney's Office about this case. We'll have more on that coming up next hour. But this woman now in custody, accused of killing her boyfriend. That's it for now.
Beheading her boyfriend is something crazy. Absolutely crazy. But let's get over into the AI breakdown, because there's not much information about this out there. So let's get over into the AI breakdown to see what else we can find out. So we got a stripper beheads her 55-year-old boyfriend. So on January 29th, authorities announced that the extradition and charges of Alyssa Marie, 23-year-old Anaheim woman, accused of decapitating her 55-year-old boyfriend. So Enrich, 55 years old, was found dead in his apartment in St. Anna on August 25th, 2025. Officers conducted a welfare check and discovered the victim's head and body at the scene. The couple were reportedly been dating for about 2 months after meeting at a local strip club where she worked. She allegedly fled to Mexico immediately after killing. Following a 5-month search involving the FBI and Mexican officials, she was captured in Mexico on January 22nd, 2026, and handed over to the Anaheim police the following day. She is charged with murder with a sentence enhanced for personal use of a deadly weapon. So this is a similar case to a former adult actress, Davini Michaels, who received 28 years to life in January 2026 for a 2023 beheading of her ex-boyfriend in Las Vegas. What is with the industry, the sex industries? You don't have to be sex workers or anything like that, but what is with beheadings? Because that's crazy to think. But I did have a question. Is there any more interesting information that we want to know? So aside from the core information, several additional details regarding the arrest and background have emerged. So it says that on August 25th, 2025, at approximately 2 p.m., that's when they did the welfare check. While the woman immediately fled to Mexico, it took a collaborative 5 months effort involving the police department, Orange County DAs, and FBI to track her to a specific home south of the border. She is currently held at Orange County Jail on a no bail hold. Her formal arraignment is set for February 13th, 2026. So domestic violence classification. So investigators have officially termed the slaying as domestic violence killing, though they have not released the specific motives for the decapitation. I would like to know why she ended up decapitated. I'm assuming they had some kind of falling out. Did he want her to leave the stripper life? What was happening? But it just goes to show why a 55-year-old man would want to date a 23-year-old stripper. So how old were the victims' kids? Do they tell us that? So authorities and local have not released any information on that. Okay, I thought they wouldn't, but 55, he could have kids her age. And this is not the first time an ex-boyfriend this was a current boyfriend. But what is with strippers and adult film? What is with the beheading? What can make you so angry that you behead somebody? What did she use? I still want to know why she did it. That is crazy. It's a crazy situation, y'all, but let me know your thoughts on this whole situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Do you have what do you think the motive could have been? And how do you feel about a 55-year-old dating a 23-year-old stripper? Could it ever end okay? No matter how you look at it, it's a crazy situation. Absolute crazy situation. But let's pivot over into the last topic for today. But like I always say, let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But like I said, let's pivot over into the last topic we're going to be discussing today. And it's an older topic, but they're still looking. So it looks like 2 children and the father are still missing. And what's the circumstance? Why are they missing? It seems like it's most known to authorities that it looks like the father killed the mother and then took the 2 children away. Is it kidnapping, or is it they haven't specifically proved that he killed her, but they can't find them? So let's go over into this. We got 2 videos to look at, and then we'll go into a AI breakdown to see if we missed anything. So let's get over into it, see what we can find out. It's a tragic situation, and hopefully the kids are doing okay. So let's get into it.
Where are Athena and Mateo Lee? They are the 2 Sacramento children who investigators believe were taken by their father, Cameron Lee, the prime suspect in their mother's murder.
Now, you might remember we first started covering this story back in July 2024 when the mother, Angelica Bravo, was found dead at a home on Didcot Circle.
Well, Lee and the children, they have not been seen or heard from since, and today we're hearing from the FBI for the first time. Your reporter covering Sacramento County, Tori Apodaca, have been following the story since the start. Joins us live from the Sacramento Police Department with the latest push to find the children. Hard to believe it's been this long now, Tori.
It really has, and just immeasurable amount of pain for that family. But we're talking about 2 different investigations here. A manhunt for the missing children's father, who is believed to have killed their mother, and then trying to locate those 2 children and bring them back safely.
It's been really hard. You know, there's not a day that goes by that we don't think about them and what they might be doing.
Dawn Bodea knows she can't bring her daughter Angelica Bravo home, but her hope is alive for the safe return of her grandbabies.
Just being able to watch them grow up and knowing how much we're missing out on has been really hard.
Athena, now 5, and Mateo, about to turn 4. Bodea says she sees Angelica in both of them.
She was her mini-me, you know, so much like her.
Outgoing and bold, and her brother Mateo, athletic and sweet.
You know, it was always used to surprise me at how high he would climb on the jungle gyms at the playground, or he had no fear.
Investigators believe the children's biological father, Cameron Lee, took off with them on July 8, 2024. His car seen crossing into Mexico the same day the children's mother was found dead in her North Sacramento home, with tips early on showing they may have been dropped off somewhere in Southern California. A year and a half later, and those children could now be anywhere.
How confident are you that these children are still alive?
We believe every day until we know otherwise.
The FBI is working with local and global law enforcement agencies, offering a $25,000 reward for any information that leads them to the children, plus providing more detailed photos of the primary suspect, Cameron Lee.
It feels like a failure to us every day that goes by.
Now, let's back up a tad bit. Those definitely look like prison photos, so he has a criminal history.
Of the primary suspect, Cameron Lee.
It feels like a failure to us every day that goes by that we haven't been able to reunite them.
Do you feel like there were any mistakes made within the first 24 hours of all of this that has made it a bigger challenge in locating these children?
Just because I believe that Cameron may have done it, I have to, the law enforcement has to act within the confines of the law.
The Sacramento Police Department spokesperson says because Cameron is the children's father, they couldn't instantly call it a kidnapping. The other challenge was waiting on the coroner's determination for Angelica's cause of death. That took months before they could call it a homicide.
I want Mateo and Athena back. That's what we need right now.
We first sat down with the family days after they went missing. Their faith in God still carrying them through today.
I do have a lot of hope.
Hope there will someday be a reunion with Athena and Mateo.
My face is the one out there, but there's so many people, our whole family, that misses them so much.
It's just such a heavy heart for that grandmother and that entire family. Investigators here really saying the priority is finding and returning those children. So if you know where they are, speak out. We'll have all the details on our website.
This is a crazy situation. Now, I would like to believe that he didn't kill his children. He just ran away. But like they said, they only know this a homicide. I guess they still have to, they can't say 100% that he's the one who killed her. Which a lot of evidence points otherwise, just because he ran. But he is still innocent until proven guilty. But the children are missing and they have no idea where they are. Let's go over into this next video and see if they tell us any more details.
Keep your eyes open and help us find our grandchildren.
A plea for help as a Sacramento family continues to search for their missing loved ones with no new information and no closure.
Things are just, it's a lot quieter now, and we just miss them a lot. Yeah, our life is not as full as it was. It just seems more empty without them.
5-year-old Athena and 3-year-old Mateo Lee were last seen a year and a half ago, shortly before their mother, 28-year-old Angelica Bravo, was found dead inside a North Sacramento home, leaving investigators with a complex and ongoing case.
What was complex about this case was we were waiting on a cause and manner of death for Angelica Bravo. So when Cameron was missing, the kids were missing, we didn't have a murder warrant for Cameron at that time. What was difficult was he's also the custodial parent for the kids, so we didn't have a kidnapping case at that point.
Investigators believe Athena and Mateo are with their father, Cameron Lee, who police say is a suspect in Angelica's killing. With the children's whereabouts still unknown, the FBI remains involved.
We don't know where the children are, so our reach is global. And certainly we want to bring them back wherever they may be.
And as time passes without any new details,
we think about them every day. We pray for them every day.
Just 2 days away from Mateo's 4th birthday, the family says they're holding on to memories.
We used to call Athena Thene Bean. That was her nickname. And Mateo, he had a couple, but Tato was one of them.
And while there are still no answers, the family is doing everything they can, staying active on social media, hoping someone somewhere may recognize the children and speak up.
I just really hope that if anybody does see, even if they think they're like, oh, that looks like that could be them, just report it.
Marisela de la Cruz, KCRA 3 News.
It's a tragic situation no matter how you look at it. Will they find them? That is the question. But it's been a year and a half. Since he's suspected of killing his wife and taking the children. They're living out somewhere in Mexico right now. I wonder if the kids know what he did or what he's suspected of doing. Maybe they have some idea. I don't know. But that's a crazy conversation. Let's go over into the AI breakdown to see if we can learn anything else or we missed anything. Let's go over into it. So as we know, the siblings are named Athena and Mato, I might be saying his name wrong, I'm sorry, have been missing since July 2024. The mother, Angelica, was found dead inside of her North Sacramento home on July 8th, 2024. The children's biological father, Cameron, also known as, I'm not even going to try to say that name, is wanted for murder. Investigations believe that the father fled with the children on the same day she was found dead. His vehicle, a gray 2023 Honda Pilot/Passport, was tracked crossing into Mexico that evening and was later found abandoned. So a homicide arrest warrant was issued for him in April 2025. The FBI Sacramento field office is working with the local police and has offered a reward totaling $50,000, $25,000 for information leading to a safe return of the children, $25,000 information leading to an arrest and a conviction. So as of late 2026, January 2026, the family and authorities have renewed their public plea for information. So that is what that's what we just saw. So the descriptions, we got she's now 5 years old, described as outgoing and a mini-me of her mother. The little boy turning 4 on January 31st, described as a sweet and athletic. The father, 40-year-old, 5'9", black hair, brown eyes. He has several tattoos, including the word timeless on his neck and a crucifix made of skulls. Yeah. Let's see, because did the father do time? That is the question. In prison, because those look like prison photos. Yes, so he has an extensive criminal history that includes at least one significant prison term, according to the opposition letter. So he has a 2020 conviction. He was convicted of a felony for being a felon in possession of a firearm and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. At the time he was allegedly fled with the children in 2024, he was on post-release. He has a history including multiple grants of probation and parole, and the DA noted that Lee has repeatedly offended while under supervision. He was arrested in 2019 for carrying a concealed weapon and drugs, though the case was eventually dropped due to illegal search. He was also arrested in 2021 on a similar gun and drug charges. So he just loves to do that. That's just his normal thing. Like they said, he remains at large and is currently wanted for homicide charges for the death of his wife or mother of his. Is they white married? The mother of his children. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. The world is a crazy place. I've said this several times. You have to choose the parents of your children wisely, because you are stuck with them for the rest of your life, especially if you want the kid to grow up productive. At least that's my thinking. You might think differently, but at the end of the day, choose the partners wisely. It's a crazy situation, y'all. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. But that is it for the show today, y'all. Thank you for watching like always. We always talk about some crazy things that we need to think about. You need to think about. Always remember, do your own research if you want to do some more. That I always adamant on, don't just listening to someone, do your own research. If you've heard a story that you found interesting, look it up yourself. Tell me if I'm missing some piece of that just makes the case. But thank you for watching, y'all. Thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. Whoever tunes in, remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, because we drop a lot, because we are here Monday through Friday starting between 6 and 7. We go over 4 times. I'm going to say this all the time because this is the greatest afternoon show in the world. The greatest afternoon show in the world. You ain't got to believe it. I believe it. That's all that matters. Now, remember, y'all, you can always find me on Instagram, TikTok. I'm trying to get better at uploading on TikTok, but I upload regularly on Instagram now. So you can always find me. It's the same name, AC Reviews the World. That is my tag. Because we got to review the world together, y'all. Remember to hit that like button and the subscribe button. These videos will be broken down, but you already know I got to play the outro. But that's it for now, y'all. Peace.